Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the Oscars. This is the Gaming Saloon for May 6, 2018. We're your hosts, Peacemaker 244 and Wrap It Up Salon.
Hi.
I hope you all have been enjoying the hosting of John and Crew's charity marathon the whole freaking weekend, because I think it's been most of the thing that's been hosted.
I think so.
I think it's depended on what came on first. But I think for the most part it's been hosted. I missed the Puzzle League, so I have to go back and watch the Puzzle League stuff. I think I was out when it came on. I was like, Granted, I was moving back in Friday for like most of the afternoon. I didn't get back here until... or back home till like 3, I think? 2 or 3-ish? Yeah, no, it was almost 3 when I got back home. And got, like, settled. So I could actually watch something. So, yeah. Well, folks, as the title suggests, it's going to be a bit of a slow week because there's not a whole lot to talk about. Literally, I only had, like, 3 things, and the last 2 things in there are because this seemed kind of interesting enough, so I'm going to throw it in here as well.
There was something that I was gonna put in as quick draw, and I can't remember. Because yes, I actually did have one.
Well, I'm only throwing in that quick draw because the other quick draw would be something I'm not ready to take pictures of yet because I don't have the thing yet to complete it. Which is my Loopin' Ranger, Patter Ranger, Mini Pla stuff. I haven't sat down and took pictures of it, and I would like to get that clear nail polish on it to set those decals in permanently. I'm saying permanently in a relative term. I don't know how long that lasts. But then take pictures of it, because I really enjoyed building it, and I might be in for the long haul, as long as Lupin Pat is good. Which so far it's been good. So, I'm willing to stick around. Because the third set is all of their auxiliary mech stuff. So, the Cyclone helicopter, the biker bike, I don't know why, I don't remember what people keep calling it, but like, it's a stealth bomber, which is Scissors and Blade, and it's Crane and Drill that are showing up next week, that are a part of the set, or part of this next set. Which that essentially gives you 5 kits to build, because Scissors and Drill are going to be 1 kit themselves because they're smaller vehicles. Whereas the other 4 are going to be their own set. Which, to give you an idea of how these sets were set up, Good Striker, which is the big, hey, this is the main, like, body of the mech, it came in 2 kits. You essentially build half of Good Striker in one, and then the other half in the other kit, and then you just plug them together. Which means you got a really nice waist swivel because of that joint where you connect them. Because that's essentially where you're connecting, because you build the legs in one and you build the torso in the other. And then red, blue, and yellow, and then Ichigo, Nigo, and Sango are their own kits for their respective sets. Because if you do like I did and got the 2 5-packs, you essentially get a double dose of Good Striker. Because one is the Loopin' Ranger set, the other is the Power Ranger set. So I have 2 Good Strikers, and I just have them in the 2 different modes. But yeah, before we get into the slow news, Tommy, anything interesting you've been playing the last couple weeks?
Outside of doing Mario Bingo stuff, and I have been kind of just plucking around at the Link to the Past stuff to see how bad the randomizer will screw us and what the best options for us are.
Mm-hmm. Let me guess.
Not
There
really.
are no good options.
Honestly, there is. It's one of those I definitely would recommend if you're questionable about a chess location or like that, that we have like a guide up
Mm-hmm.
so we can look it up what it originally is. Because I
Mm-hmm.
did find out a few things about the tracker, and honest tracker almost makes it to where we're not gonna have too many.
That's good.
Like, let's browser. Awesome. Give me a second and I'll pull it up. That way you take a look. The only thing I don't like about the tracker is you have to go through and manually reset it. There's not a way to just reset it back without wiping where you've located everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that is kind of a downfall there, but it's a minor. Get it on stream link so we can see it in real time, and you don't have to try to look at the stream.
Mm-hmm. Even though I literally just pulled it up on my phone.
But yeah, it's essentially, for those that haven't seen it, essentially that right there. It might be cutting some of the map off
Mm-hmm.
with the layout. Yeah, it is. With the layout that I got it set. That's simply because I've got this set up to take up an entire screen. That way I can put like OBS in the blank space to cover all that. But honestly, for the most part, if you've seen certain from randomizer run, it's not going to be too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we have big of an issue. Also, if you hover over any of the spots on the map there, down at the bottom, it will actually tell you what the name of that location is. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, right now I'm hovered over Skull Woods for the dungeon there. It says it at the bottom. Cover over like Hyrule Castle, tell you that, and there's also for the stuff that's in the overworld, a little number beside it. For instance, like Hyrule Castle has 3.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I might have to get into with you is because part of Escape and Saga kind of both take in the same areas, figuring out which chests are what is going to be the fun. It took me, I think, the second one before I actually realized, oh yeah, these are separate. Don't count them together. But yeah. And don't worry, I've got a seed that I haven't even touched, and that's the one we'll be using.
Fun.
Honestly though, we're not going to be on par with a lot of the speedrun parts of it.
Oh.
By no means.
Mm-hmm.
What you see me having marked off on the map there is just a guess around 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I wasn't even close to being able to go see Ganon. So chances are that I'm willing to bet, since we don't really have experience with Link to the Past, we're probably going to look at about 4 hours-ish. It more depends on how big the difficulty curve is towards the end. And by that I mean the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Because something I've found out in common with all three of them, I kind of dove in. For the most part, before I even finished the first dungeon, I would have either the blue or the red tunic, and at least level 2 or 3 sword. So you're gonna be able to kind of tank and hit a lot harder than normally playing through.
Yay.
So I think we might have that on our side until late game, where you're supposed to have level 4 sword. But yeah, it can be that questionable thing there. Also, for anyone that might be wondering, I've got it set up on the easy one, not normal, since we don't have experience with it. It might wind up being easier for me than questionable on that one, because I have played Link Between Worlds and it's fairly similar. Like, it's not a carbon copy by no means, but it is similar enough. Like, I found myself finding stuff that I knew about from Link Between Worlds in randomized as I was doing it. So it's one of those, it may wind up looking easier than you, I don't know. I think really chest locations aren't going to be an issue. And we'll probably find different ones throughout it that the other one can't find.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Well, unfortunately, I've not really been able to sit down and do anything. Like, I just now got done with school, like, Thursday. And Friday, I had to move back home. Saturday, I spent most of the day doing stuff. So I've only really went to the movies today. So, like, I really don't even get to do anything, like, just relax until tomorrow. So I might actually get to sit down and go, all right, now that I'm back home and I have all my consoles here, maybe I can actually sit down and play something. Just for fun. But yeah, I think the most I've done is I've picked up Zapdos from the field research. I think. Is it the field research or the special research? I don't think it's the special research.
I don't remember right offhand.
Yeah, whichever one it is, I was able to pick up Zapdos on that. Still made no progress on getting Mew because I can't get a Ditto to spawn to save my life. Mostly because everything that would spawn a Ditto is not spawning because of all the fucking events they're doing. Because right now it's a whole bunch of fighting types are spawning really regularly, and you know what doesn't spawn from any of those fighting type Pokemon? A fucking Ditto. So, yeah, I haven't been able to catch a Ditto. Like, I could... Well, no, I can't even catch Ghost-type Pokemon, because they're probably getting overridden by all the fighting types. So I can't make any progress on the Mew quest until that shit... Until they take a fucking break and go, okay, regular spawns for like 3 weeks, and then I can maybe get a Ditto. Even though that shit's still fucking rare. Which, it sucks because I have a Ditto. Hell, I've caught, I think, at least 3 Dittos? I can literally pull it up on my phone, and the Pokedex will tell me how many I've caught. I've caught multiple Dittos. It just sucks that I can't get a Ditto right now because nothing will spawn it. Granted, there's a bunch of different things that I should be writing up because I haven't gotten around to them and I want to do them. Especially since it would be stuff for the Tumblr, since, outside of TGS getting posted, which, by the way, is 2 weeks behind, or at least 2 shows behind, 3 when we're done with this one. Because I haven't got around to it. This is the only thing that really gets posted on the site. So I'm thinking about doing write-up stuff, and I was thinking about doing something for Infinity War, but I feel like talking about Infinity War is better done when you're in a conversation with someone about it than just writing about it. Because it's really good, and it's really good to talk about. And also, I'm just going to say this up front. Everyone and their mother is going to have fucking videos for a goddamn year talking about what Avengers 4 could be, can be, and might be. Like, that's just going to happen because of how Infinity War ended. There is no getting around that. So if you're not ready to hear speculation about a movie we've only seen out of context set photos that don't even get context after watching Infinity War, too bad. You're gonna get those for a fucking year. A year until the movie comes out. Or at least till the trailers start dropping for it, which probably won't be till the end of this year. But at least I've been able to keep up with Lupin Ranger, Pata Ranger, and Build. I haven't dropped off either one of them. Unlike everything else on my DVR. Which I'm going to be spending a week watching all that shit to catch back up. Thankfully, I think most of the stuff's on break at the moment for the summer, so I got all the time in the world to catch up on those.
Oh. I meant to mention, too, I happened to think about it afterwards. I've been doing bingo stuff. I finally got the board that I probably could have sub-houred had I attempted to practice a little bit better. I got a 116, I'm gonna say. So, one of those, I'm feeling more comfortable with the way that I've figured out stuff, kind of deal. But there's still room for improvement.
Yeah. By the way, 8 dittos. 8.
Oh.
Yeah, I've gotten 8 dittos, and none of them count for the quest, because I didn't catch them when the quest was active. And actually, all of them were before the research even fucking started. Or all this research update. So it's like, yeah, I have not seen a ditto in fucking forever. Even with people reporting where ditto is spawning on campus, I still couldn't get one. Granted, that got few and far between by the time I got to that part of the quest, and I think it's mostly because they keep running events that are making those normal, regular spawns just not exist. Because I literally opened up my phone to do that. There was a Trico, a Chikorita, a Makahita, an Aron, and there might have been a Medite in there. None of that's going to give me a Ditto. Pidgeys will give me Ditto. None of that shit's going to give me a Ditto. So, I can't do shit about that.
That can.
Honestly, the most thing I'm going to do with the Mew is try to get a selfie with the Mew behind me and be like, I don't know what people are talking about. I can't seem to find Mew. Because I would think that'd be funny.
You would be right on that.
Granted, people have already done the, oh look, I found Mew under a truck thing. Because you have to actually use the AR to find Mew. So people have just been like, oh, yeah, Mew's under a truck. Like, see, he's here right now. or whatever other nonsense they've done. I'm trying to think of what else I've done. Honestly, not a whole lot besides watch the Persona 5 anime and go, God, I need someone else to have that hasn't put in the time I have to Persona 5, much less the Persona series in general, and look at this and go, all right, what do you think? Because I am coming into the show from a very informed, I know what's going on no matter what they put on screen opinion or mindset. So, someone who doesn't have any idea what any of this persona, but that guy literally summoned Arsene Lupin, and why is this guy in his underwear claiming to be a king and he's an extreme asshole in this scene, but he's not in this other scene? Are they not the same person? Also, why did the school turn into a castle? Like, I know why the school turned into a castle, but, like, if you watch the show, do you get that? Does the show able to, like, communicate that well? Or are you just going, this makes no sense?
Yes.
Because I worry about that, because I feel like you can watch the Persona 4 anime with no knowledge of Persona 4 and still be able to get it. But Persona 5, I don't think that's going to be the case. It also doesn't help that are really that I think the people behind this, which is A1 Productions, are wanting to do their own spin on the Persona 5 story. So we're going to diverge from Persona 5 at some point. Which I'm like, oh, wonderful. Because it doesn't help that one character has been in all 5 episodes of the show so far, and he has no reason to be in at least half of them. Like, zero fucking reason. He should not be here. At all. Whatsoever. But he's here in every single fucking episode because he's super fucking popular. And it kind of annoys me because it kind of ruins a thing later on in the game, or in this case the show, but who knows if they're gonna keep to that.
You know, that's always kind of a touchy situation you're saying about wanting to put their own spin on it. Because, like, you run into double issue, you can put a spin on it and then maybe make it work. But at the same time, you could also put a spin on it and actually harm, like, in this case, the game. Yeah. Because if you overhype the show, then people are like, oh, well, this game is why the show exists, or the most common one, people thinking the show is the reason for the game.
Even though the game's been out for 3 years?
But you know as well as I did, that happens.
Yeah.
Then people are like, well, the show's better. But at the same time, you don't want to underhype it, or you're going to cripple the show in the same process. So it's like, one of those you're kind of darned if you do and darned if you don't.
Yeah. And it's not like I don't want a Persona 5 anime. I'm fine with a Persona 5 anime. I just, if you're going to do something new, don't just do it for the people who have put hours into the game and then completed it. Like, have this be a good way of going, hey, you may have not heard of Persona 5 somehow, some magical fucking way, considering Persona 5, I think, is the fastest selling game in Atlus's fucking history. And I want to say is one of the top selling games of the PlayStation 4 right now. Or I wouldn't say the PlayStation 3, but the 4 at least. Because it also came out on PlayStation 3. In case you forgot, Persona 5 also came out on PlayStation 3 because it actually was, I think, originally announced for PlayStation 3. Yeah, it was originally announced before we even had the PlayStation 4. So I think it was developed for PlayStation 3 and then ported to 4. Which is why there's very little difference between the two versions. But yeah, like, I know some things aren't going to translate well, like Mementos in its entirety. For those that don't know, Mementos is just an endlessly downward spiral dungeon crawling thing with, for the most part, very minor side quest stuff in it in terms of like plot relevance. It's very minor side questing stuff. It's more of a setting that is picked up on later in the game than it is at anything else, really. So, like, Mementos is going to be very minor, and that's fine. The battles are, to be honest, boring as fuck, and I just go, can we not do something more with this than just summon our personas and shoot our attacks at each other? Like, these characters have weapons in the game and have guns. I put in quotations because they're all model kits, technically. They shoot real bullets because cognition. There's a whole thing about, if you perceive it to be an actual gun in the game, like, if you perceive it to be a gun, it will shoot an actual bullet. But if you do not, then it won't. All of the Mementos Palace stuff works off cognition, works off essentially mind games, is one way of putting it. Essentially, if you are really good at bluffing, you can do things in Persona 5 as a character. Because if they believe it, it's real. Essentially. Because it's all perception. But yeah, like, and also the all attacks have looked terrible until this week, and how it looked this week is just, alright, you did this thing. Why do you keep doing this thing? I swear Persona 4 only used the all-out attack once, or the Persona 4 anime only used the all-out attack sequence once. And yet it's ending fights in this one. Hell, a Mementos fight is started and ended with an all-out attack, and I'm like, why is this being used so much? Just have them fight. Like, why? I think the one in the Persona 4 anime was a cameo, essentially, of a thing. I have problems for the Persona 5 anime. That is probably best left for if we are actually watching the show and talking about it. But I don't really have anything else. So, want to move in the articles?
Guess we can.
Alright. First up, hey! You know that Sonic Mania Plus thing that they announced? We got a trailer! With a quick look at what Mighty and Ray are going to be played, like, kind of.
Ish.
Yeah, we have, what is it? I think like 2 or 3 seconds per both of them.
I think so.
Although we do get a bit of what I assume to be the new opening sequence. That
At least the early part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we were actually mentioning it, I wasn't thinking about it, but this actually wound up in the trailer for Sonic Mania, was the whole them entering the elevator sequence.
Mm-hmm.
When they get to the quote-unquote Mania floor is where the actual in-game trailer starts. So this might be like this might be similar to that, where the trailer's actually showing that and we're not seeing part of the new intro yet.
Yeah. Yeah, from this, essentially, Mighty, the armadillo, either has a super drop dash or just a dive bomb, essentially. where you can just slam into the ground. Which I'm not sure how well that would be utilized, unless it is a super spin dash or a super drop dash.
Uh, I don't go on.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get to
And
the point in the video,
it is
but apparently when I tried to skip, it
50.
was going.
Yeah, it's at that 50-second marker.
Oh, that part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, that looks more like a ground pound.
Yeah, I say it might be a super like drop dash because it kind of looks like a drop dash, except it drops way quicker than the drop dash normally does. The only problem is he lands on the bumper, so we don't see if it has that ability. So it could just be a round pound, it could be a drop dash, it could be something in between the two. I don't know.
I wonder if maybe they took a page out of 3D Knuckles playbook. Because in 3D Sonic games, Knuckles has that ground pound move.
Oh yeah,
This kind of looks similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if that might be the case.
And Ray, possibly being the most broken Sonic Mania character, can just straight up fly.
AKA Mario with T-Speed and the cape.
Yep. Essentially, if you're good at using Mario in Super Mario World, you're gonna love Ray.
Which, part of me feels like that's a good thing, but the other part of me is also like, they fixed one boss fight that I didn't actually know was broken, but they had actually fixed that in 1.2, and I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's stuff that Tails can break, and then you're giving us a character that can fly and gain height. Because bear in mind, I have to think this is running very similar to Super Mario World, Mario Cape, meaning you can gain height.
Yeah. Also, it looks like Mighty can break spikes by dropping on them. It's about 117 or 115-ish. You see him just straight up drop onto spikes and just go, bling! Alright, moving on.
Oh, no. That might not necessarily be that.
Oh. Is there a power that lets you do that?
It might be that, but I'm wanting to say that sprite is actually the ice spikes. So it might be something specific to Press Garden kind of deal.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't pay attention to the stage.
But that might also give us a little bit of an insight of that actually being an attack.
Mm-hmm.
That he's invincible until he comes out of, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, that kind of points back to whole. It sounds like 3D Knuckles ground pound.
Yeah. Although I do love this last shot of a lot of them in the elevator, and Sonic goes, at least I don't have someone trying to take my spot in this game. Because they have Mighty paired up with Knuckles, and Ray paired up with Tails, because obviously that's who the two of them are pulling from in terms of how they operate.
Yeah.
And Sonic is just on his own.
And quite frankly, how they look.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, honestly, if I didn't know better, I would swear that would be like early versions of both Tails and Knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like honestly, it's gonna be a question on if, in terms of the speedrun scene, if they're gonna get any kind of real attention or not.
Hmm.
I mean, Ray probably, Mighty might be the question.
Yeah. I can see everyone flocking to Ray being like, ooh, you can fly. Let's see what we can sequence break now.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, unless they thought ahead and actually did put a hard top for a lot of spots, Mike can break most of the levels with Ray. Like, honestly, I'm willing to bet everything up to Oil Ocean you can probably break at least one act. Because there's open air in most of them. I think Studiopolis is going to be the most easily broken with Ray. Because, for those that know, you can get P-Speed at the start of the level. So, if you held that, hit the right pathing, you could probably fly all over Act 1 and never touch the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, we might... Like, really, Green Hill Zone might be another one that would be a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know with Knuckles there is a glitch that you can actually break out of his part of Green Hill and wind up in Sonic and Tails' part. I don't know if that got patched out or not, but yeah. So if that can happen, it's not gonna matter which one they put Ray in.
He's just gonna find his way into the other.
I mean, I don't think it does anything if I'm remembering correctly. I'm wanting to say that simply completing it, you still just continue on like normal. I think what happens though is if you do that with Knuckles, Act 2 is actually Sonic and Tails' Act 2,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to Knuckles' Act 2, but it still leads straight in.
Mm-hmm.
Because both paths go into the same chemical plant. So, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing I'm curious on, though, is that Metal Sonic fight that apparently they've kept quiet about. Because that's not in this trailer at all.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think because a part of the this update for Sonic Mania Plus did get leaked. So several of the transition cutscenes, because they are now cutscenes for every Act 2 to Act 1. So essentially, from world to world, there's a cutscene for each of those now. So I think we have almost all of those. I don't know if the Metal Sonic fight's in there. I don't think it was.
I mean, that's one of those... I'm curious on that, because that's probably going to make or break this update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, depending on the price of this might be just a, I don't want to pay that for this, or I'll pay that.
I'm wanting to say, I can't remember where I saw it, but I'm wanting to say it was $5 for anyone that already had Sonic Mania.
Oh, that is a fucking steal then, Jesus! Two characters?
I'm willing to bet that they're equating the other 5 to the extra pack-in content with Plus.
Yeah.
But I'm wanting to say it was that.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it's 10, I'm probably gonna be like, no. And see, that's also gonna be another thing. There is no physical way that Ray and Mighty can even be remotely correlated with Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. Because, in terms of any kind of leaderboards or anything like that, because of the fact they're gonna be paid DLC regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, welcome to your DLC Sonic Mania leaderboards.
Luckily, I don't think that'll matter so much because of the fact of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. Sonic and Tails are all separate categories.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That's gonna be eh.
Well, anything else before we move on to probably the biggest thing we have to talk about? And that's more just relative.
I don't think there is actually.
All right. Well, GDQ for Summer Games Done Quick, or the schedule for SGDQ 2018 has been posted. So now we know what is going on when come June 24th. So end of next month. And oh boy, do we have some interesting things. Just as a quick note, Odyssey is not on the main schedule. It is a bonus game.
Which, from what I heard Spike saying, he kind of expected that. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna slap a donation goal that they know they're gonna hit on it. So we're gonna have Odyssey there.
Yep.
That's not a, oh god, it's not on the main list, so it's not gonna be there. No, it'll be there. It's gonna be behind the donation wall.
Yep. And for reference for you, that is the list of every bonus game at the moment. Because it's not on the schedule, and you have to go through the, where is it? All the game submissions and filter out to bonus. But I'm going to stick to the main schedule for the moment. So on Sunday, June 24th, we're going to kick off with Banjo-Tooie, of all things. Then Spyro the Dragon Iconoclast, which looked really good from when I was seeing Ty play it. Like, that looks like a really good game.
I'm trying to remember what that was.
Girl with the Wrench. And it was 2D
Yes, that
art.
one was a really good looking game.
Yep, and I love the end of that game too. Where she's like,
notice you barely got that out, and I'm like, yes.
Yep. Yeah, I do love the end of the game where she's just like, I'm fed up with this shit. I'm going to sleep. It's like, fuck this nonsense. I'm going to bed. Let's see. Kirby Superstar Ultra, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, which I think that's, for a lot of people, the best Shantae game before we got Half Genie Hero. I'm trying to think. I think people really like Pon. Yeah, I think people really love Pirate's Curse. Which is odd, because that's the one where Shantae, I don't think, really has her genie powers. I'm trying to think. I don't think she really does. Let's see. Warcraft 3, Majora's Mask 3D. Yes, the 3DS Majora's Mask. Which I don't think is as broken. I don't think you can do as many of the tricks as you can on 3D Majora's Masks.
But apparently you can do pretty decent ones, because an hour 35 for a 3D Zelda game. Apparently it's still fairly broken. It's just probably broke in different ways than Majora's Mask is.
Yeah, let me check. I want to see the time for regular Majora's Mask. And that is the current times. Oh, actually it's longer than that. 1:49:33.
I don't know what you're looking at.
Speed Demo Archives.
Well, on the speedrun.com leaderboard, 116, 20%.
Okay, that's probably an older time I was looking at.
For traditional Majora's Mask.
Yep. 80%,
Looks
I
like
believe.
3D, the high, or the top time is 125. So really only a 10-minute difference.
Yeah.
So that either means that it's broken the same way, or it's broken different ways that are just as equally broke. Because 10 minutes is not that big of a difference.
No.
And
The fun.
also, the runner has a PB of 126. Yeah, he's second place time.
Damn. Nice. We also got Doom 2016, which we've had at last year's SGDQ.
It was either last year. We might have also had it at AGDQ.
Yeah, we've had a Doom 2016 run because I remember it being, how many ways can we get out of the map?
All of them.
Yeah, it is literally the boundaries do not exist the game. We can literally find our way into anywhere we want. Mainly because of I think it's a quirk with the ledge grab, I believe. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
It's something about the ledge grab that's like it allows them to get out of bounds so easily.
Yeah, I believe you're right on that.
Then we have RE4 New Game Professional, which I know we've had before. That was fun and enjoyable. RE4 is a really good game. Like, folks, go try RE4. It's really good. I streamed the whole damn thing, like, last year. Then we have Ninja Gaiden Black, which that is the 3D one, right? Yes, that is the 3D one. That is the remaster, or not the remaster, the extra edition of the first 3D Ninja Gaiden we got. Yep. And then Ninja Gaiden, which I assume is NES Ninja Gaiden. So John's territory, Ninja Gaiden. We got some Gimmick, Ghosts and Goblins, Wacky Races, for all you people who actually remember Wacky Races. Kid Cool, Pizza Pop, Bangayo, Gunstar Superheroes, Gauntlet Legends, Dungeon Magic, Super Smash TV, Hagane, The Final Conflict, Animaniacs, RD Lightfoot, Cool Spot, Sparkster, Rocket Knight Adventures, Disgaea 5. Ooh, that's the first time I've seen a Disgaea, I think. Pikmin 3, Soft Body, Monolith, Master Spy, Enter the Gungeon, Dust Force DX, Axiom Verge, some Mega Man 9, some Mega Man 04, Setup Block 1, which I don't know which bonus game this is.
I don't know which one it won't be. Because that'll be a stream ender. I do agree with Spike on that. They're going to put that as last stretch goal for Odyssey, by the way. So that's going to be last setup block.
Odyssey's last?
It's more than likely going to be. That's at least what Spike's thinking, and I have to agree with him on that, because that's going to be a donation goal that everyone's going to want to hit.
Yeah.
So why not make that a stream ender?
Yep. Well, I might as well touch on the bonus streams then now, because we have Test and Taskbot playing Celeste. Some Super Monkey Ball 2 ROM hacking with some straight up possible game replacements in there. Yeah, 2 blocks of that with 2 different people playing it. It's the same description for both, so I assume it's going to be 2 different, or like an hour of that. Yeah, probably an hour.
Or maybe a race.
I don't know.
I mean, exact same one. That's usually race territory. Why
Yep.
it's not marked as that is a question.
Yep. Sonic 3 and Knuckles with Sonic. Pepsi Man, 80% with the cutscenes.
Pepsi Man.
Oh my god. And Build has brought that back hard, especially for the Toga community. Because it's just like, oh, hey, look, especially with Rabbit Tank sparkling. It's like, oh my god, you are literally Pepsi Man now.
Yep. He's Kamen Rider Pepsi Man.
Yep. Mega Man X2, Buster only. Of course, Odyssey. Super Mario Maker, which this is a community created maps speedrun. Yep.
You know what? I just. Oh, okay. They've got an additional incentive for that one to make it a race.
Oh, okay. Just saw that on the side. Then we have a Super Mario Brothers, just 80% one hard.
One hand.
Or one hand. Why did I can't
Hard.
read. One hard. Yes, one hard. No, one hand.
Well, I mean, it
donates
probably would be one hard run.
Yeah, apparently it will come before or after the Super Mario Brothers 1 Warpless race. Which I haven't got to that part of yet. Then we got a Half-Life one that's scriptless. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bonus tracks, 200cc items.
Looks like base and bonus track is an incentive. So
Yep.
that's a 48 track.
Mm-hmm.
Why that wasn't just put that way is beyond me.
Yeah, going back to the main schedule, ending off Monday will be Rise of the Tomb Raider, 80%, followed by either original Tomb Raider, right? No, it would be original Tomb Raider. Right, yeah, it is original. Yeah, it's original Tomb Raider. I thought one of the reboot Tomb Raiders was also called Tomb Raider. No, original Tomb Raider. Because
I thought it was too. I thought there was one that was rebooted.
Actually, I think I'm wrong. Yeah, Rise of Tomb Raider is the sequel. So this is either original Tomb Raider or 2013 Tomb Raider. Possibly, more than likely, 2013 Tomb Raider.
I don't know. That might be original, because usually when it's reboot territory, they try to make sure they add the year.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, Sonic 06.
Yep.
Like, that's normally a common thing. That way you don't get them mixed up.
Yeah. Then we got the HD remaster of Resident Evil 1, which is that the GameCube one, the PC one? Okay, is it like GameCube one or any of the ports they've done since then because they're all the GameCube version?
Including, didn't the Switch just get one?
I don't know.
I know there was a Resident Evil that came out for the Switch.
That's Revelations.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Revelations. That's not RE1.
So yet another thing that got ported.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Revelations 1 and 2 that were Wii games to start with. Yes. Yes, because they're both actually no, Revelations 1 is 3DS. Was originally 3DS, and I think Revelations 2 is 3DS as well. Maybe. No, I don't think. I don't remember. But continuing along, we got Fear, Penumbra Overture, Amy, Pet the Pup at the Party, Freeze Me, Legend of Kid Anniversary, The Simpsons Hit and Run. Hell yeah! Oh my god, I need to watch.
That's an early morning one.
Yeah, I need to watch the Beer Brothers play that, because I am one of those people who played Hit and Run back in the day. That in Road Rage. Bonk's Revenge, Splatterhouse, Splatterhouse 2, Castlevania, Castlevania 3, Castlevania Bloodhinds, Castlevania Circle of the Moon, Dragon Warrior 3, Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut.
Oh,
yay!
God. Hey, but you notice something though? It's
what?
Sonic's story.
Oh.
AKA the good part of the adventure games.
So yeah, no fishing, no super easy pointless levels.
I honestly don't think anyone runs big story.
What is there to skip? Like, you have to do the fishing. You can't skip the fishing. It's just optimizing the fishing.
I take
like,
that back. People do run it.
Oh, how many?
45 on just the PC part.
Okay. I was expecting 5.
Oh, that's the high end of the numbers when you look at the 360, PS3, GameCube, and Dreamcast side of it.
Okay. But as I was saying, no fishing, no pointless chase levels that are butt and fucking easy. No beep.
No, that. Oh yeah, that was a.
Yep, no, Omega does do the beep. Which only leaves you Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic.
Either the console releases aren't optimized, or I want to look and see how broke the PC one is for big.
How long
PC
is...
top time 628.
What?
360 PS3 1105. GameCube 930, Dreamcast 2247. So it's like either the other three are not optimized, or the PC one is that broke.
I must know.
I'm interested now.
That's something I'm looking up later. We also have Sonic Pinball, so Pinball go fast on the main GDQ?
Well, I mean, it is going to be Sonic Block, it looks like.
Yep.
Which,
Sonic Hedgehog.
did we have a Sonic on the bonus one? Yep. Sonic 3 Knuckles.
Yeah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so
Well,
that'll be set up block 2.
Yep. What?
Yeah, we also...
You know, I don't get why they don't just go ahead and put them in there.
Because they're not expecting people to go look.
But anyone that knows how this is set up is going to know that's going to be Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, because I think it was the Destructoid's article on this said straight out that Odyssey was a bonus game, and I'm like, it doesn't say it on the schedule, and I went and looked at game submissions, and oh, look, it's in this list. It might be one of those, if you didn't check the schedule, or you didn't check all of the website, you won't see it, or you didn't go check the bids, because it will be in the bids list.
Well, and see, I agree with Spike in terms of where Odyssey's going to be, because of the simple fact of, he brought up a valid point. Breath of the Wild was a donation run that was done at the end, and it was a high priority run. Mm-hmm. Everyone wanted to see it. So it makes sense Odyssey's going to fill that same gap.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I think Odyssey's going to be our kill or save the animals. It's going to be that kind of level.
Yep. Well, we've also got Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Samus Returns, Super Metroid, so Return of Save or Kill the Animals on the 100% map completion.
But, okay. That is at the end of the third day. Mm-hmm. And honestly, kind of a late run.
Yeah.
So that's making me wonder if they're going to be pushing that as hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm willing to bet, and there again, Spike made a very good, valid point on this too. I'm willing to bet that the reason Super Metroid didn't get an AGDQ is they wanted to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they have made that point, they're more than likely going to give Super Metroid not really garbage times, but not optimal either.
Yeah. Not primetime times, because we don't need you. We
Right.
have other things we can rely on. We don't need Save or Kill the Animals to reach our $1 million goals.
Right. And now that they've proved that point, I think we're going to start seeing this happen a lot more. where Metroid Block's gonna be earlier or in the middle or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Well, kicking off Wednesday, we got Halo 2 at like midnight. Fuck. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword to take us into the 8 o'clock block. Zelda is always that transition of late night to early morning block, mainly because it's a 5-hour run.
It's either that or they tried to do it early enough to where it ends at like 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly been one of the reasons why I've had such a hard time catching some of them.
Yeah.
And that's also one of the reasons you'll never see a Zelda block. Because if they did that, that would take an entire day. And they would have like 4 runs.
Yeah, there's not many Zelda games that are at or under an hour.
Yeah. Like, really, I think it comes down to it. Really, Majora's Mask and I think Ocarina are the only 2 3D ones that are within that time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next closest now might be Wind Waker because of the fact of them finding the early barrier skip.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm wanting to say that knocked it down under 4 hours, which puts it in the running for the next closest.
Yep. Next up, we got Prince Persia Warrior Within, Kid Chameleon, Wiz and Liz, The Frantic Rabbit Rescue, or Rabbit Rescue, Sylvian Tale, Spider-Man Web of Fire. I've never heard of the Spider-Man game before.
Not that I have either.
I have heard of Spider-Man and Venom's Maximum Carnage. Okay, it's a 32X game. Wait, this was the last game released on the 32X in North America? Okay.
Huh.
Apparently you are fighting Hydra in this one. Timely! Although I don't recognize this. I'm looking at some screenshots real quick. Oh boy! Ooh! Ooh! This
That
doesn't
bad?
look that good. A little bit. Just a little bit. This is trying to be some hard, pseudo hard 3D and let me. I assume you looking it up.
No.
Oh.
I was looking down farther in the list, and there's actually one that I kind of want to look at.
Yeah, there's an example.
Second. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh, get a load of that 2D, 2.5D sprite work. Don't that look delicious?
I mean, it probably looks good for the time. Oof.
Yeah. Oof. Oofa. Picking up from Maximum Carnage, we got Batman Returns, Contra Shattered Soldier. Yeah, Shattered Shoulder. High
Well,
Hell.
I mean, probably that too.
Shadow Warrior Classic Redux, which I believe that is that Metroidvania game that I really like that came out on 360. Is it? Or am I thinking of something else?
Maybe.
I'm thinking of something else. That's not it.
I've heard of Shadow Warrior.
Complex is what I'm thinking. Yeah, Shadow Complex is what I'm thinking of. This is something else entirely. My bad. This is some Duke Nukem-esque game. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Ooh, your Duke Nukem Doom 3D style game. Ooh, goody. Sublevel Zero Redux, Thief Dark Project, Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes. Okay, I know that's the GameCube one, but if it's anything like the MGS one that got ran on PC that was broke as fuck, I can't wait. That PC port of MGS is so fucking busted, it's ridiculous. Four Swords Adventure,
That
Super Mario
one I'm
3D
actually
Land.
interested in.
Hat in Time, Celeste, and Cuphead. Ooh, I love to see a Cuphead run.
I'd like to see another one.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've actually seen the Cuphead run. That would kind of be good right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to sit down and watch a full Celeste run.
Yeah.
Because I bet that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Setup Block 3, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. To be fair, people have speedrun that game as soon as it fucking came out.
Like, glitchless?
There's... What? What do you mean there's glitches in this game?
Oh,
How?
no, that doesn't surprise me. The 5 minutes for glitchless is
Wait.
what kind of got me.
Glitches? What's
It's gonna
with
take
glitches?
longer. It's gonna take longer to set up the run than it is to do the run.
Yep. Okay. Minor Ultra Adventures, Roundabout Live, Stilt Fella, Club Drive, Bio Miracle Bokut Upa, Yonoi 2, Jungle King Tar Chan World Tour Rumble, Pac-Man 2 The New Adventures. Oh god, a Pac-Man platformer. Oh my god.
Oh god.
For those that don't know, Pac-Man for quite a while tried to be a platforming game. I don't think any of them turned out that well.
I've actually played one of them. I can't remember which one it was I've played though.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Pack and Roll Remix, Don Doka Dawn 2, Silver Grapple, Gift, Elvento, Xenodrift, Titan Souls, A Story About My Uncle, Strider, The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, Paper Mario!
Also, I want to do shout outs to Paper Mario being the first afternoon game. All of the others that were listed up till then take place in the first half of the day.
That's just a lot of just rapid fire runs. Dead Core, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Prey, Setup Block 4, Super Mario Brothers. That would be the
yeah.
Yep.
That'll
Mario Brothers
be the
3.
One-handed S&D.
Super Mario World and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Let's see, Wave Race, Blue Storm, Runbow, Borderlands the prequel. Okay. See, Bionic Commando, Bound, Catherine. Okay. One player, two control. Okay, I'd watch that. Let's see, Double Dragon 2, Gold Max, Streets of Rage 2, Battletoads and Double Dragon, Rockman, Nope, Contingency? What? Mega Man 7, Mega Man 8, Setup Block 5, Goof Troop, Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix, there'll be KH1 Final Mix, 80% Level 1 Proud. Yay, Kingdom Hearts is back! Too bad we won't really get a new speedrun until 3 comes out. Super Mario 64 with a 70-star race.
Wait.
Wind Waker.
Really?
80% Wind Waker?
At hour 15?
They may have found some new tech.
Trying to think. That might be about right then. I might have been off on that. That has to be doing barrier skip.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way around that.
Let's see. Taskbot plays F-Zero GX.
Oh, God.
Ooh. Ooh, wonderful. Taskbot plays Super Metroid 0% while running past audible invisible animals.
Also, the setup block 6 has to be pass.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to be task block.
Mm-hmm. A bit of Dark Souls all bosses. Pokemon Yellow/Red? What?
Any percent glitchless.
2 games, 1... Okay. That makes sense because you wouldn't want to do red and blue because you're essentially doing the same game. Yellow and red at least gives you 2 different games you're doing, if only by so much. Star Wars block with Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight Mysteries of the Sith, and Super Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Hob, I Am Bread, Ratchet Deadlocked! The black sheep of the original Ratchet games.
You know, this is yet another one that I'm kind of in agreement with Spike about I Am Bread coming back. What really more is there that is gonna provide for this kind of deal?
Memes.
But I mean,
Fucking...
that feels like that one would have been a one and done kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Not let's bring it back for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That it's one of those that's kind of got my interest because I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I kind of agree with him. It's like, really?
See, we also got Spyro 2, and then Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Kirby Dream Land, Kirby Adventures, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Undertale, Super Mario Maker, Ocarina of Time, Bingo! There's a bingo for Ocarina of Time now?
Yeah, there has been. Wow.
Okay. Setup Block 7, which will be Odyssey, and then in the show, Final Fantasy 6. So, the
Setup
one I
block
tried...
7,
Yeah.
or Odyssey one.
Yeah. 6 is the one I actually have a ramen emulator for, and I tried playing for a little while. Because it's the one that actually interests me more than 7.
Also, you were saying about Ocarina having a randomizer.
Mm-hmm.
Skyward Sword, Majora's Mask, Link's Awakening, Breath of the Wild, and Link to the Past all have bingo boards to be made through the same set that has the Odyssey, as well as quite a few others.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I don't know in terms of bingo for Ocarina how that's going to turn out.
Yeah.
Because honestly, up to Breath of the Wild, Zelda games had the big notorious feeling of linear to a point.
Mm-hmm.
So unless that's a lot of like fetch quest stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious of how that's going to actually turn out.
Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of fun stuff to look forward to next month. Well, shall we talk about Microsoft saying they might, possibly, could do a thing that people have wanted forever?
So telling us what they're going to announce at E3 because, they kind of threw the stop doing it to the people that were modding the Halo Online.
Yeah, that. A bit of that. Honestly, I can't believe, because we talked about Halo Online way back in the day when it was first coming out. And I feel like one of those people is like, yeah, I knew about that Halo Online thing for a long time. Like how I feel about the goddamn Detective Pikachu movie, where people are like, wait, we're getting a Detective Pikachu movie? I'm like, yes, I've known for like 2 years we were getting a Detective Pikachu movie, and somehow it makes it. Out of all the stupid, dumb video game movie shit we've had to talk about on the show, that, of all things, happened.
To be fair, you can't tell me you weren't expecting it to actually happen.
No, because it was Nintendo and they were probably going to push for it hard.
Well, and it
But
was just
still!
dumb enough to work.
Yeah.
It's one of those, if it had made sense to have done it, it wouldn't have worked. It was one of those things where it was just dumb enough to work.
Yeah. Let's see. Pretty much Microsoft has decided, we might just bring some Halo games to PC that are not on PC right now. So between them shutting down the Halo Online project and pretty much are quoted in saying, as we look ahead, we're very excited about the prospects of an official classic Halo experience making its way to PC. Okay.
Okay. We've got Halo and Halo 2 already ported. If they did something like the Master Chief Collection, I could see that happening because we know Halo Online was built off of a Halo 3 engine. So
With Halo.
Already got a lot of the groundwork for Halo 3 there.
Yep.
Like you were fixing them with a lot of Halo 4 assets.
Yeah, I think
so they've got half of both games.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
The only issue with it is if they did the quote-unquote Master Chief Collection, they would have to also work on the anniversary updates for both Halo and Halo 2.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that would probably put it back farther. The other thing it mentions is that it could be Halo Reach. But there again, Halo Reach, they'd have to build it from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly leaning towards we're probably just going to get Halo 3. Because I'd have to think the engine would be the hardest thing to build. Not so much the asset.
Mm-hmm.
So, since Halo 3's got a working engine, I would think that would be where we'd go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's been how many years since Halo 5's release?
2 going on 3?
That might be enough time for them to work on porting the Master Chief Collection.
Mm-hmm.
And could be why we haven't heard anything so far.
Mm-hmm.
It could be too that the Halo Online was a test to see if the Halo 3 engine was actually working.
Which that entire project is still the dumbest thing in the world.
I honestly think that they did it that way to hopefully curb what actually still happened.
Mm-hmm.
But more than likely for a different reason. Not so much to curb it from having a multiplayer aspect, but curbing it from someone being like, Halo 3 engine. Let's recreate Halo 3. Show Microsoft, hey, there is still a love for it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, at this point, the only PC Halo game that is still functioning is the first Halo. Halo 2, you've got to jump through all kinds of hoops, install a outdated version of the games with Windows Live stuff that was dated back from Vista.
No, Jesus.
And kind of do all kinds of workarounds. Because bear in mind, this is coming from someone that actually has copies of both games. Halo, I could put the disc in right now, install it, and be done. Be playing in probably 15-20 minutes. Halo 2, I'd have to jump through all kinds of hoops and probably take 2 or 3 hours to get it in a state where it'll let me install it.
Not play, install.
Yeah. So it could be just as simple as them working one by one to bring them up to date.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, they have spent time on it. I would hope they did the smart thing and just tried to port the Master Chief Collection. They obviously have a means to do that because of whole Xbox Play Anywhere initiative. So, yeah. But I feel like this is going to be their E3.
Mm-hmm.
That
Well,
they
what?
have teased early now.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not like they got much else to talk about.
Well, I mean, they can talk about Halo 6. Right. Yeah, Halo 5 kind of shot that in the foot. I know. They could talk about Halo 5 storied. Yeah, we could go with that. Restoried. AKA Halo 6, where we retcon everything that happened in Halo 5 and try that again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just gonna we'll try again.
Now, you know what it is? See, we were seeing it through the perspectives of Chief and Locke, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, they both were sick. There, we just retconned the entire thing. It was a fever dream. Now let's try this again.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be honestly the best option for them.
Yeah.
Just find a physical way to retcon it and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Try that again. Don't do the stupid, and hopefully come out on top.
Mm-hmm. Well, shall we talk about better news? Better, smaller, little news.
I guess so.
We got a little bit of new information about Splatoon, aka, hey, here's one of those challenges and what you're going to be doing, which is essentially, hey, how much do you like the inkjet?
Honestly, kind of fine with that one.
Would you like to play with the inkjet for an entire level and have to essentially platform with it?
I'd actually be fine.
Well, good news! That's a challenge in Octo expansion. That's bad news for me because I'm terrible with it. But I do like this, like the idea.
Running the clip.
Mm-hmm. But I do like the idea of, hey, we're gonna try some really different stuff with this. Also, yes, that is some Game Boy colors in the background, as someone pointed out in the comments. I just have to look at that and go, there's fucking GameCubes in another one of the Octo expansion levels. Or at least a GameCube floating in the background, very prominently.
That honestly looks like that might be fun.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue I'm seeing with that is I don't see a way you could break it.
Oh, if there is a will, there is a way.
Well, the reason I say that is if you have no ground under you, you're gonna be steady dropping.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the entire level just continuously makes you go down, there's not going to be a way to break it.
I'm
And
sure.
if it does, I would hope they program some kill zones.
Mm,
Otherwise, it's going to be turn, where's the exit, float all the way down.
yep.
Like, I'm hoping that Nintendo doesn't just like hand speedrun strats over to us and kind of makes us work for them. Because I'm fine with that until they decide they're gonna patch something out.
Yep.
Like, really? Case in point, Odyssey Clips.
Yeah.
Tropical Freeze. There was one level that I know Spike was like, why? Spike and a few others were like, why did they patch that out? Casuals weren't gonna find it.
Oh, with the Switch release, I
Yeah.
assume. Aw.
It's like, why did they patch that? That made no sense. Casuals weren't gonna find it.
Out of curiosity, how broken is Funky?
Honestly, Spike has fell in love with him. And I can understand why.
I am not surprised.
I can completely understand why.
It looked like that guy was designed to be like, here's easy mode, or here's speedrun mode.
Also, you know what's hilarious? Hard mode with Funky. That doesn't turn it into hard mode. That turns it into moderately harder than it was before mode. Because you go down to 1 heart.
Oh
Just
no.
don't get hit.
That's the whole point of Donkey Kong Country speedrunning to start with.
Yeah, but Funky mode introduced damage boost. Because, you can get hit 4 times and still be going. It's one of those, if I was good at 2D platformers, I'm wanting to pick that up because it looks fun. But if I was good at 2D platforms, it might be another speed game. I'm not good at 2D platformers, apparently.
Well. So, speaking of Nintendo, they detail their E3 plans, which are exactly what we thought their plans would be, because they kind of already announced most of this, and the rest of it is just business as usual. So, June 11th is going to give us the opening rounds of the Splatoon 2 World Championships, because we're not going to do the Nintendo World Championships, even though we're using the exact same logo!
But it's
Look at
Splatoon 2 colors.
And with the Splatoon 2 logo, which doesn't change it that much, because they're still using the same font for World Championship!
Well, I mean, that was an easy copy pasta.
Well, we got that in the finals on June 12th. We've got our usual, essentially, Nintendo Direct.
Isn't that what they usually call it, though? Don't they still
video
consider that a Direct?
Yeah, but I don't think they call it a Direct for E3. Even though
they still did.
They might have. But this one's not called a Direct. It's just a video presentation detailing Switch titles for 2018, meaning we're only talking about shit coming out this year. And if we do talk about something coming out later,
about more than likely Smash, whatever the Yoshi game is. Honestly, I think that's the only ones we know.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong on that?
Not really. Like, they may throw out some stuff to be like, here's some hints of what's to come in the future. But that might be safe for Treehouse.
Because, I mean, we know Prime 4 is not going to be till next year.
Yeah. Pokemon is probably going to get the exact same kind of treatment that Sun and Moon got in terms of how information was released. So we're gonna know the languages it's in first before we see a goddamn bit of gameplay.
The IP that Rare's working on, or not Rare, Retro.
Yeah, the whatever Retro's working on, that's not the 12 things that people have said it is by now. Because I think Retro...
I would be on the camp of it would be cool to see like another Donkey Kong Country game.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing as how we just got Tropical Freeze ported, I doubt we will.
Yeah. Then the Nintendo Treehouse, which is just their continuous live stream of here's demos and talks and other stuff and continued announcements. Because I think all of the amiibo news for last year came during Treehouse. I think it was either most or all of it came during Treehouse.
Which that's another thing. We might see some news come out of this. Like, it depends. Well, no, I was gonna say it depends on what new characters we get, but no. The simple fact of us getting the Inklings means there's gonna be 2 more Inkling amiibos. Because they're gonna have to do a Smash line for them.
Yeah. I mean, there's that. There's, I assume, King of Cards is going to get a release date at E3 this year, so we'll finally have a release date for the Shovel Knight Trio. But that's the only amiibo we have left that don't have a release date.
I'm wondering, because, you know, it's been kind of on the quiet side. I'm kind of wondering if we might see King of Cards come out really close to E3, if not be announced that it's live.
Yeah.
It's kind of been flying under the radar, so it wouldn't surprise me if no one really caught that someone accidentally posted the amiibo listing.
Mm-hmm. It would be nice, because I would finally be like, hey, those are going to come in then. Because I have them pre-ordered through Best Buy. And the same with Marina and Pearl. Right? Is it Marina and Pearl?
Yep.
Okay. I was like, I just named the Squid Sisters, didn't I? Wait, no I didn't. Okay, good. I thought I did for a second. And then, of course, the Smash Brothers Invitational, which will be the new Smash, because of fucking course it is. Because that's exactly what they did for Wii U.
Yep. I mean, of course we'd be doing Smash for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, until they say otherwise, it is Smash for Switch.
Right, because that doesn't specify whether it is Smash 4 ported or Smash 5 new. It is simply Smash for Switch.
Or Smash 4.5, where it's ported and has new. Because, I mean, no one ever said Nintendo couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would be fine with that. I'm kind of in the same boat as Spike. He was pretty much saying if they ported 3D World, he would be fine with that, because then he'd have no use for Wii U anymore. I'm kind of in that same boat. Like, give us Smash, give us... I think there is a couple of other Wii U games that I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool to have on the Switch. Give us those, and yeah, I'd kind of be in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather play on the Switch than Wii U. Because the Switch is portable too.
Yeah.
I mean...
Fortunately, not everything I want to play on my Wii U is going to get ported, because fucking SMT Cross Fire Emblem is not going to get ported to Switch. Fucking ever. That is the nichest of the fucking niche titles.
That's where... Wait. Your Switch might not be able to. I
What?
know Switches up at least to a certain point are guaranteed to be able to be hardware homebrewed.
Hardware. I don't like the sound of this already.
Like, legitimate. There's a way that you can basically get into the boot part of the Switch and be able to, like, sideload a Linux installation or anything like that. One of those, I've thought of looking into it and seeing how dangerous it is. Not necessarily attempting it.
I'm about to say, if we are essentially drilling our way into the core of the goddamn Switch, I would say that's fairly dangerous.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just like basically completing a circuit to allow it to boot into the boot directory instead of straight into Switch's operating system. Which, if that's the case, then most Linux installations allow you to install it alongside other operating systems.
Mm-hmm.
So you would lose storage space on it, but honestly, is that going to matter if you can play anything on it? I mean, that's kind of a trade-off that I would be fine with if it didn't brick it.
Yes.
Like, that would be the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apparently, at least first run Switches, I don't know if they figured it out and fixed it at a certain point, or if it's still to this day. New Switches have it. Yeah, there's apparently a hardware bypass. And it's like, yeah, Nintendo's never going to be able to fix that. Ever. Because the only option they'd have is to issue a recall. And to that, I'm going to say the people that are going to homebrew it, they're not going to send it back to them.
Yeah, no. No.
Even the people like me that might be a thought, that might be something to do down the road, is not going to send it to them. Because, yeah, I'm going to send it to you to fix it, so that if there's a software homebrew, you wind up patching it out down the road. Yeah, no. Like, that's honestly the thing I'm waiting on, is for a software homebrew. Because that is far less likely to brick one. Case in point, I did that with my 3DS for a little bit just to kind of play around with it. And then they patched it out. It's like, yep, of course.
Alright. Well, shall we talk releases then?
I guess we shall talk the releases of releases.
Yep. And it's a fairly short list. And we're going to kick things off. Yep. We're going to kick things off on the 8th with AO International Tennis for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Conan Exiles for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Death Road to Canada for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Destiny 2 Warmind DLC for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Is it bad that I've seen a lot of people be like, I don't feel like Destiny's that good anymore?
I'm kind of hoping this is going to be the one they might can start the turnaround point.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I have a funny feeling that it's going to be where it's going to make or break it. Like, I like the base game part of it, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, I'm like, the way the first DLC kind of took over, and from what I was seeing about people with just the base game getting locked out of certain things, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat, and I'm not a hardcore Destiny player like a lot of. Like, if they don't straighten something up, they might wind up shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah. And what what interests me more is the story and stuff. Apparently, that's like gone down hard because my name is Bife, someone I subscribe to on YouTube that talks about lore stuff. He put out a video talking about Warmind and how he has concerns about Warmind because recently a lot of Destiny lore is being retconned, and essentially a lot of the Grimoire is being said to be folktales, when that shit don't work that way, when half the fucking Grimoire is legit fucking either reports, documentation, records of events, and that's now folklore? Horseshit, to say the least. Like, yes, this literal, like, recorded conversation between two people that was recorded as it happened is somehow folklore.
Well,
how the fuck does that work?
I kind of noticed something too, and with what you're saying now, that's making me think of something here. Destiny 2, okay, I didn't finish Destiny. But Destiny 2, it never felt like I was lost on anything. It never really felt like, because I didn't finish the first one, or I didn't see anything from the point I got to on the first one on, that I was missing content. So now that you're saying that too, that's almost making me wonder, did we have two separate teams doing each of these games?
At the very least, the lore stuff has been done by separate teams throughout the course of both games. Several separate teams. Not just two teams, more than two at least.
Well, the reason I said the two teams is because it almost feels like, and now that you've said that, it's kind of made me realize it too. Maybe these two games are more designed as standalone games instead of original and sequel like they're supposed to be.
Which sucks because Destiny 2 backpedaled so hard on all of its improvements from Destiny 1. Which is stupid, to say the least.
Yeah. But like it's looking at it now, it's really feeling like two completely separate groups worked on each game, kind of deal. That didn't even have as much as even a passing conversation with the other team.
Yeah, he even brought up like how Warmind isn't really focused, because in theory Warmind is about Rasputin. Warmind, I think you might know him because he's from the beginning of the game. Right, it's about him. Well, apparently the lore has been retconned where, do you remember, because I think it's an early thing that you're told, is that there's multiple Warminds, right? There's more than just Rasputin?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore. There's only Rasputin. There's now sub-mines that are smaller war mines. Like Rasputin's the only one, and there might not be sub-mines anymore. And apparently that's just a mistake on everyone in the context of the game part. Which... bullshit?
Sounds to me like they couldn't come up with a good main villain for it.
Well, Rasputin's not the villain, I don't think. The villain are these frozen fallen that are frozen in ice on the polar caps of Mars. Like, Rasputin's not a villain in this, I don't think. Also, you have mixed in this Anna Bray trying to figure out who she is. And the whole Bray stuff in the lore. Look, there's a lot of shit going on in Warmind, and I can't tell you what the point of Warmind is, unfortunately. I can tell you that there's a bunch of things in Warmind, but I can't tell you what the plot is. Unlike with Taken King, where it's, hey, this big badass villain or fallen king has is come knocking on Earth's door because you killed his son, and he's ready to kill your ass, and you have to go kill him first. That's the whole point of Taken King is Oryx is pissed. You need to go kill him before he kills everybody.
I take that back. That is the only thing from Destiny that you do need to have a little bit of context on.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is some comments about the Taken King being eliminated and all that.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's kind of a given, seeing as how this game was supposed to take place after.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, duh.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're backing up hard.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that Destiny's writing is in the MMO. Like, is how to call this? It's a problem that a lot of MMOs have because of how their stories are told. I want to say theme park storytelling, but I don't think that's the right term for it. Because essentially, you are the one who saves the day. You and you and you and you and you, but you all have the exact same story. So how does that work in the context of the game that also acknowledges that there are other guardians? It's like, yes, you were the one who took down the Taken King, and so did this guy over here, but we don't acknowledge that happened. Because you took down the Taken King, and you did, 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 and somehow this all works. It's MMO syndrome, or MMO writing syndrome, where you are the chosen hero, insert name here, as you travel along the conveyor belt of plot.
But, okay, to that I'm also going to say, really, the only difference between that and any other story in any other game is the fact that you physically can see the other people at the same time.
Right.
If you look at Halo, for instance, everyone that has ever played the game has done all the achievements that Chief has done. In a technical sense, each of you are not the same Chief. But you're still doing the same thing. You just, in that aspect, there's only one Chief in your game. So you know you're the one that did it. Whereas with an MMO, the downside is you're still playing that one game, but you see, okay, I did it, he did it, she did it, that group over there did it. And it's like, that don't work.
Yeah.
In the immersion part of it.
Yeah. It's a very immersion breaking aspect of just like, yes, I did kill the Taken King. I did too. So did I. I literally killed him last week. Again, for like the 5th time.
The issue I think they're falling into is they're wanting to write it like everyone is unique in their own way and is capable of saving the universe. But you can't do that.
Yeah.
You still have to technically write it as a single player experience. Case in point, SWOTOR. It actually did pretty good on that. Yeah, you had the group missions. When you were in the group missions, they acknowledged everyone in the group was the hero. When you were in your individuals, though, they only acknowledged you solo were insert chosen hero here.
Yeah. I think Destiny would have been...
fallen away from that because they want to focus on the group as opposed to the individual and the group.
Yeah. I honestly think Destiny should have took some lessons from, and I'm sure some people haven't heard of this MMO, the Secret World, because the Secret World gets around this by going, you are not special, you are not unique, you are not the goddamn chosen one, you are a fucking grunt, you are a part of an army, get your shit together and go kill things.
But,
Literally.
okay, here's the issue with that. You've got to watch your scale of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Bungie's looking at it with the Halo syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You've got one big bad guy. You've got one person that has to Rambo his or her way through and save the day.
Yep.
There's absolutely no way to implement a group into that.
Yeah.
Like, literally no way. And they're trying to do that, and that don't work.
Mm-hmm.
If they were smart on it, they would set up the story a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it resulted in limiting a group to like 3 or 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Set it up to where up to that many people are the chosen heroes, and let each group basically work on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would have even worked better. Instead, how it's set up is I can partner with 3 or 4 other people. We go do a story mission. I come back. I'm the one that did it. No, they were with me. No, you're the one that did it. And so did each of those individually. No. Incorrect game.
Well, I'll end this by saying...
Go ahead.
I was about to say, I'll end this by saying, everyone go check out, this sounds like a you problem, dumb Destiny lore question video that My Name is Bive has on his YouTube, that essentially has him and a bunch of his mods who are all very entrenched in the lore of Destiny 2, or Destiny and Destiny 2, essentially have dumb questions asked to them, like, is the speaker dead? Well, of course he's fucking dead. Or, this character is the Exo Stranger. Okay, first of all, they're two different species. Second of all, no, they aren't. It's a lot of fun to listen. Yeah, anything else for Destiny before barrel on through the rest of the releases?
Nope.
Alright, picking up where we left off, we got Shantae Half Genie Hero Ultimate Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Maybe the other Shantae games I own, I'll play that. Or pick that up and play it. Because, I kind of own 2 Shantae games that I've only touched one of. So much.
I smell a fortune cookie that has clearing that out of your backlog.
I think it's going to be less fortune cookie and more, I'm going to play what I damn well please. I'm not going to let the cookie decide this one.
You ought to.
Well, I did for a while, and I only made so much progress.
What you ought to do is you ought to let the cookie decide, beat that game, and let the cookie decide the next.
Maybe.
That way then you're still focusing on one game, but it's one that may or may not wanted to do at the time.
Yeah. Anyway, we got Darkest Dungeon and Ancestral Edition for PlayStation 4, Mega Dimension Neptunia VIIR for PlayStation 4, Abduction VR Edition for PlayStation 4, Tacoma for PlayStation 4, Through the Woods for PlayStation 4, Trailblazers for PlayStation 4 and PC, and Raging Justice for Switch and PC.
I'm
On the...
noticing a theme here.
Yep.
Almost like the PlayStation 4 is the only thing that is getting releases.
It's almost like the PlayStation 4 is a really good console. And, maybe you should check it out because there's really good games on there, on that and the Switch. Hell, most people who own one own the other. Like, legitimately, if you look at statistics, most people who have bought a PlayStation 4 also have bought a Switch. It's almost like those are the good consoles this generation and not the Xbox One, because why play on Xbox One if most of the good shit there is on PC?
Yep. Or on the PlayStation 4 or Switch.
Yep. It's like Jim Sterling said about State of Decay 2. It's like, oh, this looks good. I like State of Decay 2, but like this, there's no reason that you can't really sell an Xbox One X with State of Decay 2 because it doesn't look like that much of a graphic powerhouse. It's a good game, mind you, but it's not that big of a graphic powerhouse to really go, this is the future of gaming on the Xbox One X. Well, the most powerful console.
Well, I get 4K TVs are kind of becoming the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Like most TVs you're going to be getting now are going to be 4K ready.
Yep.
But honest, at 1080p or at 4K resolution, I don't really see a big difference.
Same. I are blind as fuck.
It's one of those, heck, even at 720, I don't see a big difference. That's why everyone will complain about, well, prime example, Wii U. They'd complain about that being at 720. It's like, and? Your point? I don't see any difference between a 720 and a 1080.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, people are probably ticked about that. Not gonna lie. But I don't really care. I don't see a difference. Prove to me there is a difference, and then I'll believe you. It's one of those, and for reference, it's not a case of I don't try to see it, because I have actually sat and watched, I'm wanting to say just recently, the Insane Trilogy comparison PS4 and Switch. Honestly, I can tell the difference in the PS4 Pro and the Switch version. There's going to be a pretty decent change. Is it going to affect gameplay? Probably not. So, I don't really care.
Yeah.
There's a difference in settling because you know it's not going to affect gameplay and just plainly not seeing it. And I plainly don't see the difference in resolution.
Alright. Moving on down the list. We've got Inksplosion for Xbox One. Siberia for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. And Trailblazers for Xbox One. On the 10th, we've got Laser League for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. ACA Neo Geo Super Sidekicks 2 for the Switch. Garage, Immortal Redneck, One Piece Pirate Warrior 3 Deluxe Edition, Suicide Guy, Super Chariot, The Fall, 3/4 Home Extended Edition, all for the Switch, and Up Bot for the 3DS. On the 11th, we have Hyper Sentinel for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Ace of Seafood for PlayStation 4. On the 15th, we've got City Skylines Natural Disasters for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Forgotten Ant for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Hitman Definitive Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Wizard of Legend for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Dragon's Crown Pro Battle Hardened Edition for PlayStation 4. Goner for PlayStation 4. Horizon Chase Turbo for PlayStation 4. Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time for PlayStation 4 and PC. Omen Sight for PlayStation 4 and PC, Battle Chaser Night War for Switch, Hello Kitty Cruisers for Switch, The Adventures of Ellen Temple for Switch, and Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux for 3DS. Yep. On the 17th, we have Fox and Forest for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Framed Collection for Switch and PC. Invisibles, not Invisibles, Invisiballs for Switch. Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles for Switch. Yeah. And on the 18th, we have State of Decay 2 Ultimate Edition for Xbox One, Henry the Hamster Handler for Switch, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for Switch, and Little Nightmares Complete Edition for Switch. And that's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I thought this image was bigger when I put it in the list. Oops. I swear to God that image was bigger. Yeah. Let me get a... Yep. Yeah, go... Is pixelated as fuck. Yeah, going off the quick draws to end the show. Mine, I might as well talk about the current Power Rangers crossover comic event. I would call in quotations, even though it's not a crossover event, because the two ongoing comics for Power Rangers, which is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Go-Go Power Rangers, are both the same team, just at two different time periods. Like, Go-Go Power Rangers is the team just starting off, like the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is the team when Tommy has just joined the team. So we just got Green Ranger. So it's the same team, but it's a crossover event because all of the other Ranger teams are involved in here, even though they haven't shown up in the comics till now. Anyway, consider this a quick primer, if you don't know about this, as what Shattergrid is. Essentially, the person you see on screen, that's an evil version of Tommy Oliver, aka Lord Draken. He's from an alternate universe where he didn't go good, he stayed bad, and then went and teamed up with Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed and wiped out the Rangers, and claimed both the Green Ranger and White Ranger powers for himself, thus the kind of fused suit look that he has. And now, for Shattergrid, after being defeated by the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he has come back to his world and decided, I want more power. So I'm going to go and wipe out all of the Power Rangers in the proper universe. So that is the entire point of Shattergrid. He started this event, spoilers, and I might as well say this because it's the first issue. He starts the event by killing Tommy Oliver. So killing his alternate universe, like proper universe self, dead. Which has shattered the timeline, and essentially the Morphin Grid has essentially pocketed every Power Rangers team into their own universe, essentially. Or essentially their own bubble. In order to kind of not shatter in half because of the like rippling effect of Tommy Oliver dying. Because, you know, if Tommy Oliver dies, there goes him leading the Zeo Rangers, him leading the Turbo Rangers, him helping, like, prevent the, trying to figure out. Yes. It's fine. Him not being around with the rest of the Red Rangers for Forever Red to prevent some evil guys from using Serpentera. He's not around to empower the Dino Thunder Rangers. he doesn't become a legend and probably an inspiration for other Rangers and their pursuits. Kind of a big deal. So the timeline is preserved, but as more Power Ranger teams are possibly taken out by Lord Draken and his forces, the more the grid starts falling apart. And the more the timeline starts falling apart. And, if that happens, poof goes the universe. Because, yeah, that's a lot of bad things happening at once. Yeah, Shadow Grid is... Let me pull up the reading list. Because I have this bookmarked for my own reference. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted that in a new tab. But yeah, it started back in February with Mighty Morphin 24 as a prelude issue. Continued into March with Mighty Morphin 25 being the first proper issue. And that actually, if you were at a... Shit, I don't remember the convention, but if you went to a convention, you got to read the issue early and find out about that whole twist of Tommy Oliver dying. Which continues on into Go-Go Power Rangers number 8, which is another prelude issue. And just last month, the event has kicked off properly with Mighty Morphin 26 and the annual number 1, which annual number 1 essentially goes, here are, I think it's 4 stories focused on other Power Rangers teams and how Shadow Grid is affecting them. And those stories are going to be picked up on further in the Shadow Grid. And it's continued now in May with the Free Comic Book Day, which was yesterday, with that issue, which is just a fluff issue, more or less to kind of get you introduced to Shadow Grid if you picked it up, and possibly get you interested in reading it ongoing. And then Mighty Morphin 27 and Go-Go Power Rangers number 9 that come out this month. We'll keep it going into June and July with those series continuing, and August will end with the last issues from those 2 series for the event, and then a standalone Shadow Grid finale issue to end the event. A lot, but bear in mind, you have a crossover event that is affecting the entirety of the Power Rangers franchise. Yeah, it deserves to run for 6 months, essentially. But I've really enjoyed it as someone who has heard about the Power Rangers comics being really good, that are being done by Boom Studios. I got into Shadow Grid because they flat out went out on the record going, yeah, other teams are showing up. We had a cover that says, hey, we're going to RPM. Hey, we got the Samurai Rangers involved. We got all these other teams that I love more than Mighty Morphin involved in this. That got me interested, and I've enjoyed it. So yeah, it does sound like we're really focusing on Mighty Morphin, but that's okay, because we are respecting the larger history of Power Rangers. And this is just a personal theory of mine. I wonder if this event could be a backdoor pilot for doing comics on the other Power Rangers teams. Because like I said, the annual focuses on other teams that are not Mighty Morphin. And Time Force and Samurai are represented in the main comic right now, with a member each. So even if it's just as a miniseries, because they've done a miniseries before focused on Kimberly the Pink Ranger, like post her leave of the show, and like what she was doing after she left the show properly. Like I wouldn't wonder if they might do miniseries for them, might change Go-Go Power Rangers from focusing on the team in their younger years to another team, since Go-Go Power Rangers is kind of this doesn't have to be specifically for any Ranger team title, unlike Mighty Morphin. And then you could run the 2 concurrently, like they are right now. Like, I don't know. It's just my theory, considering there's only so long you can go, here's more Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and kind of have this event that brings out all the toys for Power Rangers, and then once this event's over in August, we're just going to put them all back and go back to playing with just the Mighty Morphin toys. Like, you've got out all these toys, and you got people possibly interested in these other stories and these other characters. Why not take that opportunity to at least explore the avenue of, What if we had a Power Rangers comic that wasn't Mighty Morphin? That maybe was SPD, or In Space, or RPM, or Lost Galaxy, or whoever else you want to roll the dice on. Because anybody will work. Granted, I'm saying all of this knowing full well that Hasbro has bought Power Rangers in full now. They fully own Power Rangers. And since IDW does all of their comic stuff, I don't know if Boom is going to be doing the comics past Shattered Grid. Or at least past this year. So, I don't know. I hope they just leave it alone and let Boom continue doing, because bear in mind, several of the Power Rangers issues have sold out at comic shops or at stores. Sold out. Just straight up sold out. That is how popular this stuff has gotten. So maybe, hopefully, they'll just leave it alone, let it continue to be its own thing, even if it is like doesn't have to be a part of the greater kit, and it's essentially its own thing. That's fine. I'm okay with that. So yeah, I encourage anyone, give the Shattered Grid event a chance. I'm reading through Comixology. I'm reading all of it digitally. It's easy, simple. You can go to Comixology, pick up all this. You can pick up actually all of the Power Rangers comic stuff from Boom Studio easily there. If you want to read that, read the stuff that first introduced Lord Draken and that alternate universe, or any of the other stuff they've been doing for the Power Rangers universe. So, Tommy, what is yours?
Mine's just a article that came up a little while back about the different numbers illustrating the Switch's success. At the time of this writing, the system itself has outsold the Wii U by over 4 million. Roughly 58% of Switches have Odyssey. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe outsold the original Mario Kart 8 by 0.8 million. Yeah. Breath of the Wild sold 8.48 million copies on the Switch. Beating out previous best-selling Zelda title, Twilight Princess. And even Kirby with Star Allies has had its best debut in entire history at 1.6 million copies. So, yeah. You know what you were saying about the Switch and the PS4 being the good consoles this generation? I think those numbers alone kind of just says that too.
Yeah. It actually reminds me of, I saw this, God, I don't remember how long ago, but Yacht Club put out their numbers for Shovel Knight. Yeah. After 2 million sales for Shovel Knight. Want to take a guess at what the top 3 consoles Shovel Knight has been sold on?
I'd say Switch is probably one.
Yes.
Probably PS4 and PC.
No, and yes, no PlayStation 4. But Windows, that's the number 1. Switch is number 3. What's number 2?
Honestly, no.
The 3DS, actually.
Oh, wait.
Yep, the Wii U is 4th. The PlayStation 4 is 5th. Xbox One is 6th. Cross-Buy is 7th. Vita is 8th. Mac is 9th. And then others are in 10th, essentially.
You know what's funny? I have got Shovel Knight on 2 those consoles.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But here's
actually
the thing.
number 3 and 4.
Yeah. But here's the thing about the Switch one. That was only a year of sales, and it topped third with 370,000 units sold.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. The Switch one got so much boost for two simple reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, how quick the Switch was selling.
Mm-hmm.
But the second one is actually because if you wanted to get the Spectre Knight DLC early, you had to get it on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, part of the reason why I've got it on 2 consoles.
Yeah.
That, and I never really felt like playing it on the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
So the Switch was kind of my actual purchase for Shovel Knight. I don't really consider the Wii U as one for it because, I barely have.
Yeah. Also, it sold around 110,000 units during its launched month on Switch.
That I don't doubt one.
That is more than the PC version at 70. Like, I got the chart here showing its progress over time. The Switch eclipsed, I believe it's the Wii U sale, in like a quarter of the time.
Again, doesn't surprise me a bit. Because, okay, all those numbers I was spouting out there,
Mm-hmm.
for those that don't want to take the time to figure that up, roughly half of the Switches out there, market, have Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to put something into perspective here. You and me both have Switches.
Yep.
The only one of those 3 games that you don't have is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yep.
I have all 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's that tell you right there?
Yep. Also, revenue-wise, the Switch has earned them the most money.
Doesn't surprise me.
I think only...
'Cause
Yeah.
I think that was also when they decided to go ahead and put the price at 25 for it. Because I think, wasn't it at 20 before then?
I believe so.
And it was when they said that Spectre Knight was going to be included that they bumped it up the extra 5, which I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, interesting enough, if you look at where their spikes in sales came from, they had their initial release, and then they had another spike around December, so essentially a big boost on the holiday sales. And then
Right.
kind of a half spike for the Sony and Microsoft release, but then a big boost for the Plague of Shadows DLC, and then another boost that was higher than the Plague of Shadows DLC for the Shovel Knight Amiibo.
Then I'd venture to say their next spike was probably right there at the Switch.
Right there with Switch Inspector Torment.
Yeah.
Like, way
'Cause
higher than any of the previous ones.
The Switch was, what, a month before Spectre of Torment came out? Which was the whole draw with it.
Yep.
Got to play Spectre of Torment a month earlier than everyone.
Mm-hmm. And that spike was higher even more so than the initial release. By a good, I'm going to say about 20,000-ish units.
Although a game like Shovel Knight, I feel like that would be a little unfair to compare it to launch.
Mm-hmm.
It would probably be more comparative to the other console releases.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. Because when it first came out, I doubt there was much hype to push sales.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the console releases started coming around, that would probably be the point where the hype started coming in. So
And just
I'd probably compare that if I was you.
Oh. And also, this also gives us an example of how games perform in other countries. Because for Xbox One, guess what dominates region-wise for Xbox One sales for Shovel Knight?
What?
North America. But PC, it's a bit more diverse. North America still takes like half, but compared to Xbox One at 94%, we're at to like 56%, whereas you would still have Europe and other regions still represented. Like, damn. Like, when people say the Xbox does not perform well in Japan, they are not kidding.
At all.
No. Microsoft burned some bridges early on in the Xbox's life, and those bridges have not been repaired since then. Yeah, no one is kidding when they say the Switch has done amazingly well. Like, the numbers, I think, speak to that harder than I think anyone can ever say.
Yeah. Because like I said, 3 year one titles are on at least half of the Switches out there on the market.
Yeah.
So that alone kind of a good feat to have. Especially since they're all first party titles. Because let's be honest, you've got an adventure, a racing, and a platformer. They're all in different genre categories that a lot of times player base doesn't usually cross too easily. Because, case in point, Spike is good with platformers. He's good with adventure games, like Zelda ones, but he sucks at racing games. So I could see him being one of those that probably held out on Mario Kart 8. So, for the fact that all 3 of them did that, it's like, that's a pretty good feat there.
Yeah, the article mentioned this. No, but Odyssey is the fastest selling Mario game.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, franchise-wise, these franchises are having some of their best sales in a while.
Well, outside of Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, that might... I don't know. I know it at least bypassed Wii U sales, but that might have been just a console number concept. But I'd venture to say that it might be one of those where that one might be the question mark.
Yeah.
But case in point, yeah. Odyssey being one of the fastest selling Mario titles. Breath of the Wild being the best selling Zelda title. It's like, yeah, they've got them a gold mine here. The case of will they keep up with it, and they might.
Oh, and out of curiosity, I looked up the best-selling Mario games. Odyssey doesn't quite crack the top 10, but bear in mind, this is all Mario games, like Mario Parties, Mario Karts. Essentially, anything that had a Mario name on it is on this list. It won't crack the top 10, but it at least cracks the top 20.
Okay, but if you exclude, like, Mario Party and Mario Kart titles from it.
Let's see. It would be in a top 10, maybe. This is really spread. Because we'd be taking out 1, 2...
Send me the link.
Okay.
I've already kind of closed browser I use for the show, so I won't have it on stream, but
Yeah. Let's see. 3, 4, 5 titles above it, so it did crack the top 15, I would think. Because its number would be right under All Stars, the updated number from the article. Because this isn't quite the right number. This is where I open
it'd
up.
be number 14.
Yeah. It cracked the top 15.
Okay.
And just...
in less than a year.
Yeah. In less than a year.
What? 6 months, really?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd venture to say these numbers haven't been updated for April numbers yet.
Yeah, because the article has it at like 10.41, and this has it as 9.7.
So it might not even have March numbers then.
Mm-hmm. Granted, I don't think it can ever top Super Mario Brothers, but that's because it was packed in with the goddamn NES.
Okay, that plus look at how many times that game by itself has been resold.
Yeah.
Because I would venture to say that's probably counting in virtual console sales and maybe some other ones too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. And I mean, if we went a different route with it, I'm wanting to say it's like within the top here. Yeah, it'd be like in the top 5 of 3D already at that number.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So I mean,
I
if we excluded the 2Ds, party and cart titles, yeah. So doing a fair comparison against other 3D titles.
Mm-hmm.
And what's weird is the fact that it has already surpassed like Galaxy 2, stuff like that too, and it's like, huh.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, the Switch does well, and the numbers do not lie in hyperbole of the Switch has done amazing. It's almost like the idea of this console that is portable, but it has really good titles on it, has like struck a chord with people and went like, yeah, I want that.
Because they finally hit the thing that they need.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't need all the gimmicks. What they really needed was to tap into what everyone's doing.
Mm-hmm.
What has become a big thing? Mobile gaming.
Mm-hmm.
What does the Switch effectively do? Mobile gaming. The only difference is the Switch is also a home console.
Mm-hmm.
So, what better than to just eliminate the whole emulator part on your phone and be able to play actual games?
Yeah. It's like, are you tired of your time-based energy gotcha, spend all the money in the goddamn world and not get what you want games? How about you play some real games? Games that go, I paid $40 and I can enjoy this game for 100 hours. And not have to spend another goddamn dime on it unless I want to.
And you look too, like I said, it takes out the emulator part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to focus on tying up storage on your phone or tablet or whatever you play games on. and have to use crappy on-screen controls because you want to play an actual game that doesn't have pay to win behind it. It's one of those. I think they finally hit the right idea, and I hope they kind of can adapt from that going to the next console release, because you know they're already thinking about it. Even though the Switch is the cash grab it is, they're still going to be thinking of the next thing.
Yeah. I would suspect that they look at this and go, if we can make it better, but essentially go, we keep the Switch, but we just make it better. Like, better power-wise, maybe, or better mobility-wise. Like, hey, can we get this battery to last, like, 60 hours? Like,
Honestly,
can someone...
I've never had a problem out of the battery life in it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, a game like Breath of the Wild is going to kill the battery quicker. Agreed. They probably need to figure a way to maybe not necessarily extend the battery life, but get it more consistent. Get it to where it don't matter if you're playing Breath of the Wild or Puyo Puyo Tetris, it's going to give you the same amount of time.
Right. I'm just making the joke of, can someone start a JRPG portably and finish it without ever having to plug it in? Can we do that?
I feel like that would be overkill.
Yes, but why not?
It is Nintendo.
Yeah. Like, why not? Why not go, yeah, we literally have a 100-hour battery life on this fucking console. You will literally never have to plug it in, ever.
My only fear is if they look at ways to improve the Switch, I have a fear that we're going to go one of two directions. And neither one of them is going to be a good direction for it. We're either going to have another 3DS situation on our hands, where really the consoles are not different. It's just one's got a fancy slider. Or two, they're going to try to embrace VR. The reason I say neither option is going to work too well, we've already done the 3D thing. We really don't need to do a rehash.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a given. But the VR part, do you really want to be playing Mario and Kirby and stuff like that in a VR setting?
Yeah. That's the thing about VR, is you need
that's the thing I kind of fear we're going to run into going that direction too.
Yeah, like, that stuff, probably not. Metroid, on the other hand, a Metroid Prime in VR?
Or even in an AR mode.
Yeah. Like, that is a winner. Or, better yet, play a Star Fox game in VR and you are in the cockpit the whole time.
I'm going to say this. Everyone's like, oh, the Switch isn't powerful enough to do that. They're not wrong in that aspect of it. But I want to point out the Joy-Con have gyroscopes. You can go a step further. The right Joy-Con has an IR camera on the bottom of it. You could actually pull off a pretty decent, honestly, Metroid or Star Fox game with a VR concept. And
Or
what everyone's failing to think about, Switch has a USB-C port on the bottom. Meaning all they have to do is have a peripheral that attaches to that and provide a software update. And then there you go. They could put the additional power the Switch needs in that peripheral.
mm-hmm.
It's one of those, no one's exactly thinking of that part of it. They've kind of, whether they realized it or not, they've kind of made a modular device.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of on the cool side.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's actually something else too. Really, the dock is just a peripheral. Because the console itself is what's playing the games.
Yeah, it's just a charging station and a way to output to a TV.
And it really doesn't even have to be a charging station.
Mm-hmm.
They did that simply so that the Switch wouldn't die while it's in it. Otherwise, it could just as easily be just a way to connect it to the TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like, everyone's kind of missing what the dock actually kind of signifies.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I can probably hear the other part of it. Everyone being like, yeah, if they make a peripheral for VR that attaches to the USB-C port on it, how will that work in home console? That's easy. Provide an additional cord that converts it to the regular USB.
Mm-hmm.
Hook it to the dock. I mean, have you ever seen a VR setup? There's wires.
There's wires everywhere. You are not escaping wire hell.
I mean, and to be fair, yeah, I would be one of those that would use it in the dock. Because I kind of like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's funny? We're saying this, but we don't know anything about the Metroid Prime 4 game.
Yeah.
Kind of be hilarious if that was what their idea was, and that's why we're not getting it until next year.
Mm-hmm.
Be one of those they want the Switch to be able to sell on its own and then start introducing gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, the Switch is kind of a gimmick-free console.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the biggest gimmick with it is the fact that it's essentially a throwback to every other console.
Yeah.
And that's honestly not a gimmick. Not in Nintendo's mind.
Mm-hmm. Nintendo is built on a very hard foundation of nostalgia.
Yeah. And gimmicks. Because, I mean, let's be honest. The GameCube was kind of designed like a portable console, even though it wasn't physically one.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii with the nunchucks, Wii U and the gamepad were kind of they're kind of hardcore gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch, on the other hand, yeah, the Joy-Cons can attach to the console. That's kind of it. Besides, it's a hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this has to be their least gimmicky console.
For now.
That's one of those where I'm like, So that kind of makes you wonder. VR could be a possibility.
Well, it could, but you know what it can also have?
What?
Rob 2.0.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That could be another throwback. I mean,
granted, it won't have enough gimmicks until it has every single gimmick the NES had, because you know the NES had like, I think like 15 different peripherals.
I wouldn't doubt that. I know it had the light gun and
it had multiple light guns.
And
it had multiple light guns. Multiple light guns.
Uh-huh.
We're talking multiple light guns. A dance pad, don't forget that one. Rob, the fucking power glove.
Yeah, you can't forget the power glove.
Yeah, I think that has a documentary right now about how it was made.
That's what we need. Power glove for the Switch.
Oh god.
That works with every game.
There's another movement-based one. There's a couple controller gimmicks in there as well. Look. The NES had its fair share of dumb peripheral nonsense.
I mean, if you think about it, all of Nintendo's consoles have had gimmick stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because didn't the SNES have a satellite subscription game library thing?
Yep. Yes, it did.
The N64 with its fill-in-the-blank pack.
Yep.
I mean...
Yep, and the... Ah, shit, what is it called? What was it called? The thing you had to swap out for Donkey Kong 64.
The expansion pack?
Yep, the expansion pass that only Donkey Kong 64 ever fucking used.
But all the games could use them.
Right. But Donkey Kong 64 was the only one who ever knew.
Yeah.
Which is why it was the only one that ever got sold with it.
I thought there was another one, though. Yeah, Banjo-Tooie. If I'm not mistaken, had to have it.
Oh. Yeah, there's that. The Game Boy cartridge slot holder.
For the GameCube.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that and the one for the N64.
I didn't know about the one for the N64.
The N64 has one too. You need it to you can play what is it? You can play the original Pokemon games on Pokemon Stadium with it. And you can transfer your Pokemon from the GameCube or the Game Boy games over to Pokemon Stadium with it. And use them there.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got one. It's gotten chewed up by the dog a little bit. But yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, I knew about the GameCube one, but I didn't know about the N64 one.
Yep. That's where if you remember from Pokemon Stadium, where the Game Boy Tower, that's the whole point of it. I think
played Stadium. So.
Yeah. I think the stadiums were the only one that ever really took advantage of it, but yeah, that's why that was there. Let's see, the microphone for Hey You Pikachu. Ooh. I'm trying to think. What else? GameCube. The GameCube had its microphones for Mario Party. Oh, the 64 DD.
Yeah.
That only came out in Japan. Yeah, that's so many peripherals. So yeah, we are lucky the Switch doesn't have any peripherals yet.
And I mean, from a technical standpoint, the simple fact that Nintendo has also allowed third-party developers to do stuff like that. I mean, look at the Guitar Hero stuff, the Rock Band stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of those like, yeah. The fact that they allow anything, it's like, yep, I can see that.
Well, actually, I'm wrong. The Switch doesn't have peripherals right now. Labo.
Well, yeah. I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, I forgot about that, even though I literally saw it years ago.
But I mean, really, that's the only thing so far.
Yep. And that's actually been pretty good from what I've seen.
Is it bad though that I kind of am hoping the Switch will get some kind of VR thing though?
Not really. Like, VR tech is good right now, it's just it doesn't have a lot of exclusive games to it.
It's one of those, I think if the Switch had it, the Nintendo would probably be able to capitalize on it.
Yeah. They'll be like, let's put the next F-Zero on here. That's something we need. That will get us to put out a new F-Zero game, because, you know, we don't have any new ideas for F-Zero, and we want a new idea in order to do a new F-Zero. Literally Nintendo's quote on that, not mine.
Well, say that would also give them a reason to port Star Fox Zero.
Damn it, I just want a Star Fox game that doesn't require me to jump through hoops to play it.
No,
I don't want
to do that, doesn't it?
Can I just have a Star Fox game that doesn't involve hoops? Like, motion controls is one thing. I don't need VR to play my Star Fox. I just want to play Star Fox. Can I just have that? Can I just have a good Star Fox game that doesn't have to be gimmicky as fuck?
Okay. I can tell you what Star Fox game to get then. Star Fox 64 or 64 3D.
Pretty much. Because I just find it playing Assault and finding out, oh look, this gimmicky nonsense with all its fucking on-foot combat that is way more than the Star Fox gameplay I came here to play to start with.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you want a non-64 original Star Fox game, then Assault's probably the best one you're gonna get. But yeah, one of those I almost wish that Dolphin ran Adventure better, because then we would probably not finish it, but we would at least do a little bit, just so you see that I'm not joking when I'm saying about it's a good game, it's just a bad Star Fox game. Because I will stand by that one, because I feel like that's the truth. It's just, yeah.
Well, I think we should probably end off there, because we've been going a bit for a while.
Well, then.
So, in 2 weeks, we'll be back with more wonderful new stuff as we grow ever so closer to E3. I can't wait for rumors and leaks.
Leaks and rumors.
I literally on Twitter, somebody had essentially the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon background and was tweeting essentially, remember, anyone can make a leak. And it looked like a Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon announcement. Yeah, anyone can make a leak. But it's so wonderful when people try. Like, especially with the current rumor about the Build movie. That essentially says, hey, the 20th anniversary writer shows up with Decade. And I'm like, horse shit. That is the least of the horse shittiest things in this fucking post.
I get it. Hey, I got it. Perfect league. The 20th anniversary writer show is Decade. He got a new form.
That was the fucking April Fool's joke.
Yeah, but see, the new form can be called Double Decade.
Yeah, just to show the tip of the iceberg. Essentially, Rabbit Dragon's a special form, and it's fighting against Kamen Rider Science. That is apparently Takumi / Sento's father. How the fuck that works, I don't know.
I thought, isn't he dead?
I would say yes. I would hope so.
Like, I thought that's what the show pretty much said.
Exactly. Bullshit already.
It's like, come on, if you're gonna do that, at least make it believable.
Grease gets a new power. Genius form is shown in combat. I'm not surprised. Genius should be out by the time this movie is done.
True. Like, that's probably the only truth in that.
Kazumi's using the Bill Driver to get a new form. Bullshit! He is not getting a new form!
Well, I mean, he might get robot grease.
Yeah, no. The only time he's gonna get a new form is if he gets his own fucking V-Cinema film. Then he'll get a new form. But
And
he is not
it
getting
will
a new
not
form
be
in
with
a
the Bill
fucking
Driver.
movie. Yeah, fuck no. It'll be just a new Splash Jelly. It'll be a Splash Jelly with fucking electronics, or it'll be a friggin' full bottle with electronics shoved into the Splash Driver.
Or a cracked bottle.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't try to do that in the show, in all seriousness.
Yep. But yeah, the fact that it's just like a new writer appears alongside the Destroyer Worlds, and I'm just like, horse fucking shit. One, that ain't fucking happening. I know Tsukasa loves to come back, but no, it's not happening. And two, most importantly of all, Tsukasa only shows up in shitty movies.
Yeah.
After his series end, he's only shown up in shitty movies, in shitty material.
I have to think not by choice.
No, it's not. Which sucks. If you don't believe me, look at every time Tsukasa has showed up post-decade. Every single one of them have been garbage. Every single one of them. The man can't catch a break, and this guy loves to play Tsukasa. Anyway. We'll be back with that. And in between then and there, we have our usual assortment of streams. I'll be getting back properly into cleaning out backlog with additional console stuff, which means I should be updating my backloggery. I'll probably be doing that in the next couple days. And tomorrow will be MMO Monday, where we continue Warframe, because I guess we're just going to keep playing Warframe.
At least until we hit a wall where we can't do anything forward kind of deal. Because I know that'll happen. I'm thinking too, you're doing the backlog clearing. I'm thinking about queuing up my Steam stuff and doing that too. Because pretty much all my console stuff I've at least played. My Steam stuff, on the other hand, is another story. I have more games in my Steam library that I haven't even installed than I have played.
Yep.
So, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we will see y'all then, folks.